G'day everybody and welcome back to the Hardball Gets AFL show. Today on the podcast, it is the mailbag after round 11. If you want to submit a question or a conspiracy theory, follow us on Instagram at Hardball Gets AFL. All right, let's get stuck in.
This episode is brought to you by Woodside Energy, a proud major sponsor of the Fremantle Football Club, supporting local footy from grassroots to greatness. We get straight into the mailbag. Jesse is first. Just halfway through the god-awful, terrible, eye-offending blockbuster that is Bombers and Tigers. It's only half-time, so I don't know the outcome. But regardless, how does Brad Scott escape criticism? My God, talk about vanilla. Skills shit, game plan shit. If not for the 18-year-old debutant that have only kicked 2 goals by half-time against bloody Richmond, does he get immunity because he knows Chris Scott? My thoughts on Essendon have been very clear for a very long time. I'll let you guys take this.
I thought watching Essendon on the weekend, I have thought in previous times, when they're playing some pretty average teams, like around them and lower, they muck around with the ball and it looks nice and the numbers are huge, but geez, it's shit footy to watch.
Yeah, their numbers were massive on the weekend.
They're huge. And I thought at the time, with the mid-season draft just around the corner, you could pluck the best outside wingman / midfielder out of the state league, any state, the best one. They would run around and have 30 on the weekend. They would look like Nick Martin.
He does. So, he's right, though, in that Brad Scott does escape the criticism.
At Essendon. He did a really good job at North Melbourne.
Yes. They were in a lot of prelims.
Right. How long are we going to run that one back?
No, I'm okay. How long has he been at Essendon for?
This is year 3 at least.
They're rebuilding. They're in a rebuild phase.
I don't know. All I'm saying is we pile on Michael Voss, we pile on Ken Hinkley, we pile on Longmuir.
But we don't expect Essendon to do anything.
Was that what it is? The expectations are so low that just nobody cares?
I think so.
Maybe.
And I think it's been that way since the whole bloody peptide
All
thing,
right,
to be
Craig,
honest.
is West Coast any chance of landing Cozzy Pickett or is it just Freo? Look, I haven't heard that they're in the mix for it. It would have to be a last-minute pivot thing. We talked yesterday about the value of Pickett and it's soaring. I think
he'd be in the top handful of valued players in the comp now.
Yeah, West Coast.
We trade. What's that? Bill Simmons does that trade value.
The trade value. I mean, given his age as well, he's about to turn 24. He's a very good player.
Zach Butters' his age.
But I haven't heard that. Clancy, not a D supporter here, but I think Zave has been overly harsh on them. Hawthorn have only beaten one team in the top 8, and that's the Giants.
So who am I harsh on?
D's.
Melbourne, who have been quite inconsistent, whereas Melbourne have beaten Brisbane up there, which not a lot of teams do. Melbourne are only 2 wins behind the Hawks. Could we see the unthinkable and see the D's replace the Hawks inside the top 8 within a fortnight?
No, I do. I want to congratulate the Melbourne Football Club. Couple of good games.
Well done.
Good.
Won't make the 8. Already cashed that ticket. Please. But you're right. No, Hawthorn have slowed it. As I said yesterday, 23%. On
They
Hawthorn.
actually can't jump them in a fortnight either. They'd have to win both games and pick up like 30%.
Are Melbourne a sniff
At what?
at the 8?
No.
They're not as far back as you think they are.
No
They're
sniff.
playing
currently
well.
won-
Is Essendon above them on the ladder?
They're playing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So why don't you give Essendon a pat on the arse?
Well, just the momentum. We wrote Melbourne off 3 weeks ago. I'm saying has it
No.
just shifted.
I pat him on the back. Couple of good victories.
So no chance.
And it's all coming down to Gawn
Zero.
and Pickett, right?
You're doing what I had. You're trying to get me to do what I said about Brisbane last year, and it came back to bite me on the
Are
ginger.
you giving it 0?
Zero.
Did you get that, Josh? 0, he said.
Let's just
All right.
put that in the back.
0% chance.
Let's go to Scarps.
Melbourne are a 0% chance of making the 8.
Thank you. That's what we wanted. Scarpsy. Let's go.
You know, boys, as a Fremantle supporter, you don't really want to be using the F word this time of the year. But I'm going to say it. And that's the MRO. The the VFL need to get their shit sorted because Brayden Maynard can end Angus Brayshaw's career and not get weeks. But Paul Curtis can get done for a tackle. Alex Pearce can get done for this bump here. Need to sort it out, boys.
You know what?
Doesn't fit the narrative, though, around the VFL part when he named Paul Curtis as his other example who plays in Melbourne.
But North don't count. North don't count.
North barely count.
Do you know what? The problem is the Maynard one, right? That really did set a precedent that everyone pulls back on because it's like, how can you get that one so wrong?
Yeah.
And then you do all these other things. And this is why you can't have howlers like that. And I know it was a final and then, there was all that
final
little
spot.
underlying stuff going on there too. And he got to play and they win the flag and everybody's excited.
Yeah.
And he sent the flowers and they didn't want the flowers.
It's pretty clear now that the AFL is going, doesn't matter if it's a football act, if there's head contact, you're going to miss.
Oh, but I'm not copying. There was no head contact with Alex Pearce.
I'm not
Oh,
saying
no,
that-
yeah.
No, but that's some
I'm
of
saying
the,
there
some
was.
people. Some people are saying.
Longmuir
Oh,
was saying
Yeah,
that.
it certainly was head
I
contact.
think Longmuir was saying, and I think this is going to be interesting if they go to the tribunal, which I think I haven't been able to check
they
Twitter
have.
while we're here. They are?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that was yesterday they did that, so
Oh,
should have been across it.
No.
That happened yesterday.
He got 3 weeks
No,
yesterday.
Today's Tuesday.
And they had to.
Today's Tuesday.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah. I mean, I haven't checked Twitter in a day.
Yeah.
So,
Any tweets you see or on Monday. Scheduled.
So they're at the tribunal tonight?
Yeah,
Is that
so they're
confirmed?
going to tribunal.
it hasn't come
What are they
through.
gonna
Just, I'll
argue?
let you know if the result comes through.
It's not Wednesday.
Yeah. Okay.
Where was I going with that? If that's going to be the standard going forward, then we have to be okay with players pulling out of that, because that's the only option Pearce would have had then, to just run out of the
Just
way.
let him mark it.
Let Burn Jones mark
Which
it.
he won't ever do because of his timing. He
So
just got his
you're
timing
just going to
so
get
wrong.
suspended.
You're correct.
Too bad.
That's just part of footy.
Yeah,
You're walking on the tightrope.
It's just so dumb though.
No,
Like,
but
what
Clark
do we-
used to say, you walk on the tightrope when you play footy. If you fall off, we'll pick you up and put you back on.
I
Yeah,
still,
more
I just like when it
suspensions
comes
coming up.
through. When it comes through and it says like, oh, and then he changed and he looked at him, because like in real time that's 0.5 of a second.
Yeah.
All right. G'day. This is from Toddy. G'day, Tinsel Tongue, Old Mate Spreadsheet, and the Yelling Hat Stand. Love the pod. Oh, you're the hat stand.
Oh, clearly, yeah.
I must be Spreadsheet and you're Tinsel Tongue. You can't be Spreadsheet.
I'll take that.
As a Port Adelaide supporter in 2025, is it better to pretend you're just a big fan of prison bars in general, or write in to Ask Ken Hinkley column about my personal relationship, since he's clearly an expert in hanging on too long? Toddy's not in a good place.
No,
No.
and either's their footy club.
It's bad, isn't it? They
Bad.
they showed effort for about 15 minutes the other night. It looked okay. And they were playing the conditions
Yeah,
better.
they're playing the conditions better early. It got wet. If you're ever going to play a WA side and it rains, that's should be advantage to you, and maybe not so much out. But those Victorian clubs, if it rains, it's an advantage to you, and Fremantle played it better in the end.
100%. Mickey, does Erasmus stay in the 22 when O'Meara's ready to return?
Like the Rasmus's
He's
fortnight.
been better, and I think if he doesn't stay in that team, he'll be gone.
Tell you what would be really, really funny, and Erasmus I have no opinion on, but 2 videos you could clip up. Matt Johnson's highlights and Matt Johnson's lowlights.
Yeah.
The
yeah.
highlights tape would look nice.
Yeah.
The lowlights would be like, is this bloke out of the league already?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
there is the north and south in his game at the moment.
Yeah.
Like he does a beautiful run, breaks a tackle,
Yeah.
kicks it nicely
Yeah,
inside
swings
50.
around the pack and kicks a
And
goal.
then has a normal kick and it goes sideways out in the full.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a tough one, but he's certainly developing.
But I
Yeah.
like the Rasmus inside, particularly when it was early. He was really good.
Johnson's
as well.
definitely had a longer leash, put it that way.
Yeah.
Russell, pretend you have your Eagles hat on. Zave, just leave your current one on. Are you still?
I don't think I've ever been really that
Yeah,
complimentary of what's been
I don't
happening
think too
at West
many of
Coast.
us have been up on West
Are you
Coast.
still crowing about your club trading up in the draft to steal Bo Allen from Freo, or are you now preferring your club took Murphy Reid? This is if you had an Eagles hat on.
They didn't trade up; they traded down, didn't they?
They traded. No, they just took Bo Allen. They could have taken Murphy Reid.
No, it's off the Baker, the pick,
Oh,
the
yeah.
Baker
Well, yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Well, I don't get the whole me have the Eagles hat on. I hate that they've done that. I hate that
You're
they're
the
drafting these WA kids.
anti-WA kid draft.
So
team,
I'm the
aren't you?
most opposite to that opinion.
I will say this: who knows if Murphy Reid could be playing like this in a team as bad as?
No, it wouldn't be.
Yeah, no.
So he's bloody hell. He's good though. He is such a talent, and he's got. We were saying to you the other night, his kit bag is unbelievable.
He's got some tricks,
He's
yeah.
got some tricks. Nathan,
Oh, I thought you were talking about his actual, like the bag he brings to
No.
the game. I was like, what are you talking about?
Can you imagine? So we had that mate who left,
Oh.
who threw his West Coast membership out, and
yes,
imagine if they did something like that Fruity again this year with picks 1 and 2.
oh, no, all bets are off. Who knows? All bets are off. Nathan, would you rather Richmond or Carlton going forward? Carlton's in no man's land.
Richmond.
Yeah, I think it is.
In terms of winning a premiership, like
Yeah.
Richmond are going to lose
And
more
Richmond
games
have got a
over the
plan.
next 4
Richmond are
years.
closer to a premiership than Carlton.
Yes.
The Richmond have got a plan.
Jesus, that's
Yes.
depressing for Carlton.
But Richmond are closer to a premiership than 7 clubs.
Because they've gone back.
Yeah,
to go
yeah.
forward.
Right now they're further back.
They're
They'll
on
go
track to
past
have an
that.
elite league.
I don't know if we have any evidence of that yet. So I might
Well, Richmond haven't
still,
been that bad.
might still take Carlton because they got some blocks, but I'd need a new coach. I'd need a new
And a
coach.
clear out.
Jacob from Mandurah, voice message.
Jacob from Mandurah back again.
There he is.
on my vendetta against Ruckman. Just wanted to point out that Todd Goldstein scored 109 ranking points from a big 2 kicks, 9 handballs and 2 tackles. Cheers. And whilst on topic, during the Freo game, Vicentini headbutted a ball, and I'm pretty sure Champion Data gave him 17 points for it, as it was a headbutt to advantage and then a contested knock-on.
Well, who was that again? It was that.
That's Vicentini.
I spoke on air
Yeah.
saying we just got to get rid of ruckman and just let's phase them out. These ruckmen run for throw-ins. They go 65 metres back from the landing spot. Then these 2 dopey giraffes gangle on in and they hit it at penis height. You may as well just put a star midfielder in there, just say, stand under it, mate. Like, what are we doing with these ruckmen? And you're right. They roughly get a fingernail on it and they get these data points. Like, other than Max Gawn, you rarely sit there and go, shit. Gee, that game was really turned on the head of the ruckman.
Are you and Jacob the same person?
Yeah.
More and more you look for it, I'm telling you.
Tomorrow never comes. Sean Darcy to be offloaded, similar to how Grundy was, like selling the salary contract to another team. Do Freo have the balls to admit this one was not a success and fix it now? It's hindsight, and at the time of the Darcy contract, you couldn't have foreseen this situation, but it doesn't mean you can't change your plans for a younger, more agile ruck. Well, that's the thing, right? I think you were saying last week about who's going to trade for him. I think the scenario would be
They take half.
they take a 50 cents on the dollar, as in like in return. Fremantle, for instance, gets a second-round pick for Sean.
Because Collingwood's still paying Grundy. That was a
I don't think
7-year
now.
or something, wasn't it?
I think Adam
This
Treloar.
was long.
Is this the last year?
Oh,
of it,
maybe
or-
Treloar.
You might be thinking Treloar. I think Treloar's got a few people playing his contract.
Yeah, he's a couple of clubs on the way through.
That's nice. Adam, lads, on the ruck stats, especially for Supercoach / Champion Data
Oh, there you
rankings,
go.
every time they take the ball out of a ruck contest, it is a contested possession. Add to that hit out to advantage, and you have a Supercoach's wet dream. That's why. There's a fault in the system.
Yeah.
Max, Zave, if you were Richmond, are you trading 2 first-round picks for Harley? You said no yesterday.
Yeah.
Not pick two, no, the picks
Not
we
2
said
and
2
3.
and 3, no.
Yeah, you said no.
No,
But 2
I'll take
first
it.
rounders
What
if it was 2 and 12.
Yeah, what if they
I'm
split
thinking
one of
about
them?
it,
Okay. Connor, rising star favourite? Question mark. Murphy Reid at $10 is a steal. Who is the favourite?
Murphy Reid's played 2 or 3 good games. He's had moments in games. Like that game, he kicked that sealer dribble kick.
Yeah.
Like, that was like his second kick for the game. So
Yeah.
he has stood out. Look, I
But
think
again,
Levi,
it's a year where no one's been.
Well, Levi
has.
Ashcroft.
Levi's a $2
Harvey
favourite.
Langford's had a good patch.
Levi's $2 favourite. Then it's Harvey Langford at 7, and then Archie Roberts and Murphy Reid at 8. Now.
That's a probably good way to describe it. Is Murphy Reid's had the best games of a first-year player?
Yeah.
Individual games.
But consistently,
maybe not
it's
the
going to
best
be
season.
Ashcroft. Your man Nate Caddy's at 21.
Yeah, no. I throw that in the bin.
Yeah, okay. That's not going to happen. Stephen, what is it like playing an AFL game when your team starts to shit the bed? As supporters, we've all seen a game where a team can play well for a half and then suddenly for one quarter not hit a target, lay a tackle or catch a cold. Is this just mass panic, and what does that feel like in front of national media and fans? This is probably for you, Zabe. As a follow-up, what is it like having your own fans boo you? Do you care who it's targeted at, or are you just so flat it's going so badly that fans are on your back? So trying to picture a game where you just randomly got flogged and how it felt.
I reckon we only randomly got flogged, like randomly once.
Yeah, because you were never really in a very bad team.
No, never.
Maybe at the start of Hawthorn you weren't winning a lot, but
But what?
No,
you
my
weren't-
first
you were
year,
never
they
in
made-
like a
2007, wasn't it?
First you made the finals.
you were never in like a 3-19
Nah,
team. Like it
nah.
just wasn't a thing.
No, we had a shit night against the Bulldogs one night. I reckon we were 70 down at halftime somehow. I
Yeah.
can't work
And
it
how
out.
did that feel? Like in the game, was it like just everything went wrong?
Clarko was
It
Like-
just
Pretty
felt like
chill.
the ball was like we were in bibs and we couldn't tackle it. I don't know. It just felt shit. It was like you look at Sam Mitchell and that, right, mate, come on, just get
Do
the
something.
footy. Lift. Hodgie, come on. What are you doing, mate? What's happening?
Do what you normally do.
You guys should be winning this for me. Like, what the hell? Yeah, it's just you're so tired. Yeah, a lot of the time you think, oh, geez, we're unfit. But if you're chasing clacker,
Yeah.
you're just that. Like it's so much harder when you don't have the footy.
Max, has a player ever been as disrespected on their 300 game as Mitch Duncan was this week? What does he mean by that?
Yeah, so-
Maybe less
Less fanfare?
fanfare. Started on the bench too, did Dunks? Not sure.
Yeah.
I think, to be honest with you, I think it might have just been a tough time
I think, yeah.
to celebrate
And-
too much amongst
And-
the other players who have been around the mark.
Well, it can be up to the player as well. Like Mitch is a pretty low-key guy.
I think he would also have liked it to have been
Low-key.
just with the situation
Yeah.
and he's Hawkins and Joel. They're obviously he's 300 game teammates and Just the timing, probably.
Yeah. I've got a tenuous link to Mitch Duncan.
Do you?
Yeah. So when I was in like year 5 or 6, my first girlfriend was a girl named and she was his cousin. Now, her mum was running the Wildcats cheerleading stuff at the time. My first job was to be the message boy for the Wildcats cheerleaders. So I would stand
message boy?
I would,
Message
The
boy.
runner. They got a
here's,
runner.
Here's what would happen. Because this is the time before phones.
I'm getting up on Instagram. Is what
We were 10. We were kids. No, so my job was to stand courtside.
Yeah.
For this is for 4 seasons while the Wildcats were winning championships. I sat courtside, and then she would say, "Tell the girls the next song is, I don't know, play that funky
Achy
music,
Breaky Heart."
whatever."
Yeah.
And then so I'd run to the other side of the court
Space
and
Jam.
tell one of them and say, "The next song's Achy Breaky Heart," and then I'd come running back and stand there again and just watch the game.
You were the runner.
Jeez.
I was the runner for the cheerleaders for like 4 seasons.
Do you know what I'm
Tough
picturing
gig.
now? Like, say we go to war
Yeah.
and someone's got to run the telephone line.
That was me.
Yeah.
That was me.
You'd be the last person on
It's
earth.
also-
I'd be
Mate,
too.
I had to fight through crowds.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just imagining.
If I didn't get that information,
Yeah.
they wouldn't have known.
No, I know.
For the
I know.
first,
Old bloody
until the
12-year-old
song
Until
played.
they hit play.
And then they-
12-year-old Rhino's also got the complication of trying to hide a stiffy at the same time, right?
Oh, hang on,
Hey,
mate.
come on, that was a child.
That's too crass.
All I got paid was, apart from the courtside seats,
Yeah.
was a free chicken roll and a Coke.
Yeah, beautiful.
Oh, mate, that's what are you going to
You're
do?
in
I was
there.
a millionaire.
Yeah, yeah.
I was a millionaire. And look, I'm walking around pre-game shooting with Scotty Fisher and mate, it's a
Yeah,
dream.
happy days.
Well, greatest scenario in the world.
Whereas now, if I said to you, Ryan, I've got courtside tickets at the Wildcats and you can
And you
shoot,
get a free chicken roll.
say, no, not for me tonight, thanks.
Yeah, I've
I'm
got
busy
some
tonight.
stuff on. Maybe once I'd do it.
Once,
take
yeah.
William.
Yeah.
Frank, Big Pepsi. Should we organise the carton now? I took Geelong overs and our draw in the second half of the year is juicy. Also, do you boys think Geelong is a contender? Cheers, Geelong enough.
Hey, just quickly on the cartons. Again, I need to be reminded at the end of the year. But though, remember I did those bets for the
2
rich.
for 1.
Yeah.
Everyone paid up.
Oh,
Except for one guy who I said just flick it into charity.
nice.
Charity.
So
Yeah,
how many cards did you get?
A handful.
Oh,
I've got to go to Dan Murphy's and cash them because it's vouchers.
Yeah, okay.
No, but just before I lose them or delete them
Yeah,
or,
you
or
forget.
whatnot. So I've got
you know
them.
it's a big scam vouchers. They look because people buy them and forget.
Yeah,
about them.
forget them.
Oh,
yeah.
There's
yeah,
thousands and millions
I
of
might go
dollars of
tonight.
unused.
I might go tonight and grab a few.
Do it
Yeah.
straight away.
Do I
Seamus.
owe you a carton then?
You probably do.
I think
yeah.
I took that.
Yeah, you did.
Seamus.
G'day lads, first time, long time. Can someone explain to me why the hell West Coast be paying up for bloody Darcy Cameron? Oh, yes, we have rug issues, but surely he'd cost a pretty good pick. The form he's in, probably that pick we got for Barras or something last year. Probably more if the players push for it too. After seeing we paid a little bit overs for Baker, I think. I don't know, would Cameron make that much of a difference? Surely we could just go to the draft and take this supposed number 1 pick, Cooper Duff Tyler, or try and Archer Reed and something into a ruckman, just to try something else. This Barnett doesn't seem to be doing a whole lot. Yeah, just keen for your thoughts. Cheers, lads.
That's the problem with Cameron because you
Oh,
have
well,
to pay for
I
it.
didn't know. I was under the assumption he was going to be a free agent.
Yeah.
Yeah, is he not a free agent?
So to get him, I
Is he
mean,
not going to be a free agent?
no, he's going
Oh,
to be
no.
So,
no.
mate,
No, sorry, but next year. So fast forward one more year.
I'd be very surprised if he doesn't stay at Collingwood. There's a lot of noise about it. I think he's a Collingwood
Well, if he's
player.
contracted.
I wouldn't worry too much, Seamus. But if he does come, they're going to have to give up something high.
Correct. No, they won't be.
And you just
my narrative
was it
on
yesterday or today you touched on the whole.
Yesterday.
What if they do it
Yesterday.
again? The
Oh, the
trading,
picks.
the Liam
That was
Baker
today,
scenario.
wasn't
Mate, this is the scenario where
but,
that would
but
happen.
Darcy Cameron's a better player than Liam Baker.
Yeah, but you're doing the same thing.
No, don't get me wrong. I don't
He's
want to give.
29.
I don't want to give a pick for anyone.
Darcy Cameron's 29.
Yeah, great. Like I don't want to give. Say who's the best 26, 7-year-old at the moment, 8-year-old. If Christian Petrarca was like, I want to come to West Coast, I say we're not giving you anything.
No picks. No picks.
Are
Keep
you a
the
free
picks.
agent?
No picks.
Okay, Aaron, how do I get membership to the Pat Voss Academy?
Ooh.
Hope you have enjoyed that Carton X.
There you go. There's one of the Carlton
That's
players.
from
Thank you.
Aaron. Okay.
Yes, Aaron did pay up.
Yes.
And the Pat Voss Academy is a real thing.
It is a real thing.
It's
It's
actually a real
unbelievable.
thing.
Sean, is going back with the flight done? If the defender can't contest, where are we at? We sort of touched on that one. Mitch, how come Rhino always reads out the questions in the mailbag? Cone master time? Because Nick's too slow, and this podcast episode would go for way too long. Jaden,
And I can't read. So.
Yeah.
Jaden, can you boys rate Nathan Buckley, Mark Rasciuto, James Hurd, and Michael Voss from best to worst?
Shit, go again. Bucks.
Buckley, Rasciuto, Hurd, and Voss. Okay, so I've already done this because
Probably go
I,
Buckley,
I have Hurd 1. I have
Ever heard
Voss
one?
2. I have Buckley 3rd. I have Rashudo 4th.
Jeez, Buckley was
That's my order.
I'm the other way around. I have
What?
no. Like I have Hurd 1,
Yeah.
Voss 2,
That's what I have.
Rue 3.
Ahead of Buckley.
Head of Buckley.
Okay. So is that what's yours?
No, well, I'd do Hurd, Buckley, Voss, Roo.
Buckley over Voss.
Yeah,
Hmm.
long time.
Hayden, who wins it a fortnight, West Coast or North? Game of the year in Bunbury too.
Kanga.
Yeah.
Very.
Preston, odds for an Eagles priority pick. I don't know if they'll call it a priority pick, but I reckon they'll get some sort of like,
Special draft compensation.
here, we'll make sure you get pick 2 for Oscar, and here's a second rounder that you have to trade or some shit
Yeah.
like that. You're not going to get like another first round pick. Where are we now? Okay, Mitch, will Ryan and Zave get in the cage? Fairly quick tap from Ryan this morning.
It was on Monday morning.
No, I want to make it known that the vision that was caught was only the end of it. You tried to pick me up.
No, I didn't. I tried to take you down.
No, I went down on purpose because I knew you were trying to pick me up.
I was taking you down.
No, I
you were
went
always
down.
going down.
I went down because I was like, here we go, let's get to the ground.
I was not at 1 second trying to hold you above
You
the.
were trying to pick me up.
No, I tried to take you to the ground straight away.
But I went to the down.
Yeah,
ground
so that's what made it really easy for me. No, there was no plan of me lifting you.
He was so annoyed because of the redhead jokes.
Oh.
The one that sent him off was strawberry shortcake. That was the last.
So
it was a lot of
I
fun.
haven't seen this vision.
It was very.
hang on, I'll give you a quick gaze. We'll put it on our own socials.
yeah, let's share it more.
Yeah. So here we just that one there. So Ryan's trying. He's just locked
tap.
up. Look at it. He can't do anything. He's elbowing
I
me.
could have elbowed you a lot harder there.
No, but you weren't getting me.
No, I was getting. I could have hurt you then. I just decided not to.
Katie reckons she called you a wuss after you left.
Oh yeah, wait until I left the room.
And then absolutely shredded you.
Oh.
She said you gave her the ick the way you tried to wrestle.
No. Well, she's not really a fan of the blokes anyway, so it'd be very hard to not give her the.
Oh.
Saxon, Halliburton or Cade for the next 10 years? Give me Cade.
Yeah, Cade.
Plus, I hate
So
Halliburton.
no
right
Nick's questions yet. It's interesting.
Well, we're 2-1 now. We're back. Series is ours to take. Matt, cheers, Big Pepsi, for riding off the lines. Knew I could count on you. There you go. Alex,
And they did just get piped the week before by Melbourne at home.
Alex got a submission for the old mate's sister's dog aunt herd segment.
Oh, remember that one?
Do we have the sting still?
Where we broke the news of who retired for like an insurance career or something?
Crouch.
Crouch, yeah, Brad
Brad
Crouch.
Crouch. It was
Yeah,
Brad Crouch.
yeah.
All right, so we used to have a sting, but Josh buried it very deep underground.
For a good reason.
Clearly, he wasn't a fan of it. My mate's brother is best mates. I haven't read this, by the way. So,
Allegedly.
my mate's brother is best mates with Cody Curtin, Dan's brother.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently,
Clam
Dan
up.
doesn't like living in Adelaide and hates the Eagles. They promised him they would trade into the draft to draft him and failed to
Well, they
do
tried.
so, which has left him irked. He reckons it's inevitable. He will request a trade back to WA and to the Dockers. How much will it cost the Dockers? This year, contract, and next year, uncontracted.
It's
It's
not
always
a
going
huge
to cost
asking
more.
price at the moment.
Well, it's always
is
going
it?
to cost more contracted.
Yes, but it's
So,
not like
any conversation I've had about Dan Curtin is that he wants to make it work there. Like, and he wants to get in that team and he wants to play well there, which is always every player, typically, 90% of the time, that's always their first choice.
Yeah.
To make it work with our, because they're competitive beasts, they want to be in there. If
until the
things
season winds down and
if his development continues the way it's going and he's sort of been moved around and
But I mean, how do you think his development would be going at West Coast?
well, yeah, but they're talking about Freo now, so like
Yeah, no, but I mean, if it was drafted to West Coast, the development would be worse.
yeah, I still really
Progression.
like him. I still
What did he do yesterday?
he'd be a key back at West Coast.
his numbers have not been significant. They've not been significant at all.
14 disposals. Yeah.
Okay, we've got an interesting one here because we have lost the rights
Oh,
Again.
to another music.
I thought someone made it
no.
from
No,
scratch.
No, that was our
That was the
original
intro.
song. So we had a song which everybody loved, and then we had to have a new song
Yeah,
for the
'cause
hardball
the-
gets because
And then,
they
yeah,
the
it
rights.
was made by a getter.
Yeah,
And
one
again,
of our-
no, we had a second one, didn't we? And then we went to the third one, which was made by the
yeah,
Oh, that's
because
right.
the
yeah,
first one was then suddenly in what ads was it for? Like some
bigger cheese or something.
yeah.
bigger cheese
Or
thing.
toy,
yeah.
some toy, Lego.
Don't know.
Yeah.
But-
Anyway, it's happened again. And this is where the conspiracy starts. And as you hear the music, I'll be able to explain. That's right. conspiracy theory music.
Oh, the
has been-
conspiracy
Yeah, yeah,
music's
yeah.
gone.
It has been changed.
I actually like this one better.
It's pretty good.
This one's better, Joshy. Well done.
Now, this hasn't been sent in, but this is just me thinking with a tinfoil hat.
Right.
Who's at the bottom of this? Who have we been exposing for years on the AFL's conspiracy theories?
Is this a Josh Bowler job?
Dylan McDaniels.
Oh.
He's heard this
Mick
segment over and over again.
Andrews.
The only way he figured he could shut this segment down
Yes.
and us stop talking about the fixturing
Correct.
inequality
Yep.
and the MRO and all the other stuff that goes
The
with
fact
it.
there's only two of them at AFL House.
You know what,
fact
you know
there's
what
only two of
spiced
them
him
there.
up? The umpire's staying in Darwin.
Yes.
That might have been the tipping point.
That was the final straw.
That could have been.
I suggest that he has gone to the rights holders of this song and said, shut it down.
Or either that or it costs like $8 to buy.
So this is our new conspiracy
No, I
theory
don't mind
song.
it. I
We've
don't
lost
mind
the
it. I like
rights
it.
to the last one. This is, how can we just keep songs? Can we just keep songs?
No.
Just let the little guys have something.
We're
Dylan.
playing royalty-free roulette.
Yeah, we do. We play royalty free. We're not paying a dime for anything, and we'll just keep getting bumped from song to song.
That reminds me, podcast recommendation, Otherworld. It's a guy, that music
about?
reminded me. It's just like spooky
Hold
paranormal
on, so is that
stuff.
their music?
Well, maybe, yeah. It's
Spooky.
similar.
What do you mean spooky paranormal?
Well, this guy's like, so the
Oh,
one
here
I
we
just
go.
listened to, there's two brothers and they both had the same weird dream where they saw this man in a hat.
Oh, no.
And then it sort of expands and the guy's seen it later in
Dave.
life. And then it turns out people over the world have seen
Dave.
this man in a hat.
He's going to join a cult.
No,
you're
listen to it.
weirdo.
He's
Like-
joining. No, he's spinning off the
Listen to
globe.
it. Otherworld.
I'm not listening to
I
it.
only started the other
Yeah,
day.
but I'm
I
going
listened to it last time while doing the dishes. Got me scary.
No, how much weed do you have to smoke before you listen to
No,
this?
well, I think it
Or
probably
before you
enhance
see
it.
the man in the hat.
At least a gummy, maybe.
Have you ever seen the man in the hat?
I've never seen the man in the hat, but last night I was scared I was going to see the man in the hat.
Oh my God. This episode is brought to you by Woodside Energy, proud major sponsor of the Fremantle Football Club, supporting local footy from grassroots to greatness.
We'll see you next time.